If you're new to the page, my name's Nico. I've traveled to over 40 plus countries. I've lived in Europe, the Caribbean, Colombia, Mexico, Australia, Thailand. So I've been around, to say the least. But it wasn't always that way. Growing up, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. I had no clue. All I knew was I wanted to do something that I enjoyed, something I loved, something I was interested in, passionate about, curious about, something that was energizing, something exciting. But I didn't really know what it was. All I knew was I refused to spend my entire life working some miserable job to then retire at 67. I didn't know much, but I knew that much. Anyway, so at the time I was watching a lot of these motivational YouTube videos, and I would always hear these super successful people like Steve Jobs. They'd always say, follow your passion, do what you love. I listened and I was like, yes, that's what I'm gonna do. Then 2 days later, I would hear some other super successful person say, don't follow your passion. Don't do what you love. Why? Because you'll fail. So I didn't really know what to do, who to listen to, right? There were so many contradicting pieces of advice. What do you do, right? Then I decided, you know what? I'm going to come up with my own method for making decisions in life. Something that would help guide my decision making in life. You know what I mean? So I bought a self-help course. And I'll never forget what the guy said. He said, in life, it's better to fail at trying to be great than to succeed at trying to be mediocre. In other words, it's better to fail at trying to get the life of your dreams than to succeed at getting a life you know you settled for. And to this day, that became something I try to live by. Another thing he said was, there's a difference between playing to win and playing not to lose. So I asked myself, am I playing this game of life to win? Or am I playing not to lose? So I was like, yes, this makes sense to me. This is my new philosophy. Whatever it takes, I'm going to find a way to make money doing what I love, even though some successful people say don't do it. Boom. So my focus was finding out what that was and then bridging the gap between work and play, making money and having fun, right? I wanted to make it so that me having fun was actually work and me working was actually fun. I knew I wanted something like a brand, a business, a vocation that was an extension of me, my values, my interests, my individuality. Because for me, that's how I define being successful, right? So another thing he said was, look at what you've been doing voluntarily and consistently for the past 18 months, 3 years, 5 years. And that's a clue as to what direction you should head in life. So for me, out of travel, jump rope, and self-help, travel was definitely my biggest motivation. So I knew it had something to do with travel. I just didn't know how I was going to bridge that, how I was going to turn that into a real occupation, right? So then I read this book called The 4-Hour Workweek, where he talked about using digital marketing to build a lifestyle business which integrates how you make money and what you love doing. So instead of having to box your life into periods of work and play, for instance, you merge the two so that work becomes play and vice versa. Take the Thai Illuminati brand, for example. Going on epic adventures and taking a couple videos is work. But here's the thing, I'd be doing that even if I didn't have the brand. So work is not actually work, it's fun because it's integrated, right? And that's the power of digital marketing, blurring the line between work and play, right? Because let's face it, right? Hating your job and hating your life goes hand in hand. You can't hate your job and love your life. And what most people do is they get into all different businesses with limited information and without a full understanding of what the landscape will look like, only to realize what it requires of them on a daily basis involves stuff they have no interest in, no connection to, no excitement for, and they're just dull, boring, monotonous tasks that are slowly killing them on the inside. And that's the problem with all other businesses and traditional 9-to-5s, right? Making money means sacrificing your happiness. So what they require of you on a daily basis will not interest you, excite you, or energize you. You'll be forced to spend the majority of your time doing things you know you wouldn't do voluntarily. They'll make you sacrifice the things you want to do for the things you must do in order to make them profitable. Whereas digital marketing, on the other hand, allows you to bridge the gap between what you love and how you make money, as opposed to doing things you hate in order to eventually do things you love. And the best part is, once you learn digital marketing, you can have AI do 80% of the work for you. I know this is a lot to take in, but if you're still trying to find your passion or niche, let's say, let me leave you with some actionable tips. Okay? Think of finding your passion as living life for you, not for society, not for your family, not for the Joneses, but for you. What do you want your life to be all about? What's something you'd still want to do even if you won the lottery? What are you interested in, curious about? What's your thing? What's a wrong you want to right? You know? Turn your mess into your message. What's a deeply held idea, belief, or cause you can't go a day without thinking about? What's one thing you can see yourself dedicating your life to? You know? What are you known for doing too much of, or talking too much about? What can you effortlessly talk about with friends on a Saturday night without tiring or running out of things to say? Really, think about that. Once you figure that out and you know what that thing is, then you can use digital marketing to bridge the gap between what you love and how you make money.